So if you can, close your eyes right now and imagine a moment where you felt pure joy. If you can't close your eyes and you might be driving a car, please don't close your eyes. But just picture in your mind a moment where you truly felt pure joy. When I think about joy, I, in my mind, I feel like it's from my heart. So joy in for me comes from my heart. Happiness is more from my head. That's the way that I see it. We talked a little bit ago about happiness, and that's how I differentiate them. When I think about joy, it's coming from my heart, and when I think about happiness, it's coming from my head. So when I close my eyes and picture a moment where I had pure joy, I picture myself sitting on a beach with my family in the ocean playing around. I'm hearing the kids laugh. I see the dolphins swimming out in the distance. That to me, in this instance, is pure joy. It is absolute joy. It makes my heart happy. It makes my soul happy. That's just the way that I see happiness. I have a quote by Robert J. Furey. He's an author, and he talks about joy, but he also ties it into kindness. So he says, those who make compassion an essential part of their lives find the joy in life. Kindness depends kindness deepens the spirit and produces rewards that cannot be completely explained in words. It is an experience more powerful than words. To become acquainted with kindness, one must be prepared to learn new things and feel new things. Kindness is more than a philosophy of the mind, it is a philosophy of the spirit. And I just thought the way he started that, if we make compassion a part of our lives, we will find true joy in life.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And there's a difference, right, between joy and happiness. And so I kind of wanted to define that a little bit. So the definition of joy is the emotion evoked by well-being, success, or good fortune, or by the prospect of possessing what one desires, otherwise known as delight. The expression or exhibit of such emotion, a state of happiness or felicity, otherwise known as bliss, a source or cause of delight. And I also wanted to define real quick the Greek word gaithian, which is another way to say joy, directly translated is rejoice. And so I thought that was really interesting is that there's a difference between happiness, right? I can be happy or I can have complete joy in what I'm doing. Rejoice that you're with your family or whatever it is, right? I mean, we've had different experiences where I've been away from my family for a time. I get home, I walk out of the airport and I see my family and it's pure joy. That's different than being happy. Being happy, I can be happy with them each day,
Yeah.
right? And maybe I could do a better job probably of finding joy in each day. Um, so one of the thoughts that I had was stop waiting to have joy or be happy. Don't wait for those opportunities. The good news is there's always a fresh new opportunity and a way to find joy or happiness. There just is. Um, Imagine life is like a Grand Central Station where happy times arrive around the clock, right? They're coming around the clock. Chances are the opportunity to be happy has already arrived. So sometimes it's right in front of you. So think about that. It could be right there. You could find joy in the very thing you're doing at this very moment. That could be your happiness or your joy. So regardless of what's going on around you, you can feel joy. You can be more productive. You can attract success and enjoy yourself during the process. So think about that a little bit as we're talking. Don't wait for things to come. There's always a chance and a possibility to have joy or be happy.
Yeah, I think no matter what's going on around us, we can look for the meaning in that. For example, this year, some might say, man, 2020 has been rough, right? But think about it just a little bit different. What if each of us had have the opportunity to spend more time with our family, our friends, our loved ones. Isn't that a great thing? So, yeah, 2020 might on the surface look like it's been rough, and it has, but look for the meaning in everything. And I think if we do that, we can find more joy in life and what we're dealing with at the time. And it's really a mindset. A lot of the time, it comes down to what we're saying to our mind, and that sort of dictates what we do with our day and even our life. I strongly believe that we should make room for passion. Passion to me, I think those who know me very well know that what I'm passionate about. I don't hide those things. I think we have to make room for those passions to come out. We can't just think, well, I enjoy this, but I'm not going to take time to do that thing. We have to do things and then do them often. And so I enjoy playing soccer and I go and play soccer. I enjoy podcasting now and I can't wait for the next time that we can talk and share things that are important to us and hopefully help those who are listening. That's all I'm saying is if we have a passion, then don't just let it die. Take time to live it, and I think we'll find more joy in life. And then be present in right now. Don't worry too much about the past. Learn from that. Don't worry too much about the future. It will get here eventually. But focus more and be present in the now. And if we have to remind ourselves about past experiences where we had joy, like me sitting on the beach with my family, then do that. But be present in right now and focus more on the now.
Yeah, I agree. I really think that sometimes we look too much to the future
Yeah.
and we're not living in the now, and we miss some opportunities because we're either anxious about a situation, we're feeling fear about a situation or whatever it is. And so we allow, because that's what happens, is we allow things to happen to us. We allow those opportunities to kind of pass us by. So add happiness to your life right now. Add the joy that you have right now. Uh, Imagine, and Shane brought up a good visual, but imagine yourself sitting on a tropical island. I most certainly can.
I can
So,
too.
right? And imagine you sitting on that tropical island and you got a guy that brings you breakfast in the morning and you're just sitting on a lounge chair, a nice cool breeze, about a 70-75 degree breeze blows through. You can hear the rustling of the trees. You know, I love to dream. And I dream pretty big. I got some pretty big dreams. And so I think that as you dream, we can dream about those things that we would like, but I also think, we do need to live in the here and the now. So dreaming is good. Don't get me wrong. I love to dream. It's amazing. I can't wait till the next time I'm sitting on a tropical island, you know, and enjoying that breeze, feeling right. I love Hawaii and places like that, the Caribbean. I've been to those places and they're amazing. And so do try to live in the here and the now. Also, I think another point is make self care part of your daily routine, your everyday routine. Um, Take a time out for yourself if that's what it needs to be. Oftentimes, my time out would be to go on a vacation because that's what that's what my self care is. Or doing something else. I also like going to sporting events and things like that. To me, that would stress a lot of people out, but to me, that's where I get pure joy. And the other night, my favorite baseball team, the Dodgers, won the World Series. Hasn't happened since I was 8 years old. That's the last time that it happened. And so I experienced pure joy at that moment. And so just do something that is self-care. If that's reading a book, amazing, because I love reading books. I love, I've gotten into audiobooks lately, but do something that is your self-care. If it's sitting down and watching Netflix, then so be it. If it's what, spending time with your family on a walk around your neighborhood, then do those things, right? But do take time for yourself.
Yeah, that's great. I really like that. I agree. I think we can be in the present. We can have big dreams, and we should, but we can also take action and steps to get to that big dream. It's not that we don't have to dream. It's that we should be in the present, but focusing on those small things that are going to get us to that big dream. So that's great. I think that's good insight. I think we should be authentic to ourselves. Ask yourself, are we living for us or are we living for others? Are we living the way we want to really be, or are we living the way that others want us to be? I don't think that's being authentic if we're living for others and we're not being who we really are. I think if we are who we are and we live that way, I think we will find more joy in life. Something else that I think is important is volunteering. Doing those acts of kindness adds positive emotions and well-being for not only us but for others, that we're really looking outside of ourselves and wanting to share that joy, that happiness with others. There's no better way than to volunteer or to share acts of kindness with people. Thich Nhat Hanh, he's a Buddhist monk and he happens to be 94 years old right now. He says
Wow.
many people are alive but don't touch the miracle of being alive.
Mm,
And that just
that's
touched me when
awesome.
I saw that. Like, it is so true that there's a lot of people that are going through life, but they're not really feeling the miracle of being alive, feeling that pure joy and happiness with what's going on. They're sort of stuck in the weeds in that. And I just thought that was such a great quote to share. It really touched me when I saw it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is true though, right? Because oftentimes we see people living, but are they really alive? Are they really taking advantage of those things? And I think that's really what it is. And so I think joy, or finding joy, is also having that state of mind, a joyful state of mind. And so we have the ability to change that by thinking that way every day, thinking, how can I be in that joyful mind? How can I be in that particular state? How can I find those things in my life? And I think that's one of those ways, is to just get your mind in the right place. And the mind is powerful. It really is.
Yep.
So the things that we think, that's what's going to come to fruition, right? And so as we think about those things, that's what's going to happen. So if we're worried or we're concerned about this, that, or the other thing, then that's what's going to come to fruition.
Yeah.
If we're thinking about joy and happiness and love and kindness, that's what's going to come to fruition. Also, appreciate the small things in life. You know, um, I I really think that to be the case. Oftentimes we're looking for the big thing, right? Like, you know, why can't we just be happy right now that you have a job, or that because there's a lot of people that are out of work, sadly. That's unfortunate. And so, be happy about that. And if you are out of a job, I was out of a job for 4 months. I loved spending that much time with my family. I found that joy, even though it wasn't what I was wanting, right? I didn't want that. I was still finding joy in that particular time in my life. And I know, Shane, you're going to touch on this a little bit, but so I'm going to touch on it as well. But surround yourself with positive people. That's really a way that you can find joy in your life, is to be around those kind of people. Think about it. If you're surrounded by negativity, that's what's going to happen, right? That's like
Yeah.
that's going to change your brain thought process and everything. In fact, I had heard about this study that was done at Princeton University. And this study was fascinating. So, what it was is they had two people. One of them was communicating to the other one, and the other one was actively listening. And we've talked about this in communication, but I wanted to bring it up. just because of the actual study that happened. But the person that was communicating, when they studied their brain waves, the person that was really, really listening matched 100% brainwave for brainwave. It's as if the person that was listening was saying those words themselves.
Wow.
And so, seriously, I mean, we've talked about the power of words and other things like that, but you know, if you surround yourself with positivity, like that's how your brain is going to function. So if that's the case, then surround yourself with positive people that talk, you know, say nice things, are kind, are loving, caring, all those things. That's how your brain is going to react. And just one last thing before I turn it back over to Shane, but and we love to do this, but it's to laugh more, right? So breaking news: laughing makes you feel good. All right.
It's really true.
You know, so
Laugh.
hopefully that doesn't come as a surprise, but laugh more.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. We should seek out positive people for all of the reasons that you had mentioned, and I think just as important as surrounding ourselves with those people, it's that we're taking care of ourselves. We're honoring ourselves frequently. We're telling ourselves those positive affirmations that we are saying, or we're telling ourselves daily, I'm fine the way I am. I do the very best I can. I can do this. I love myself. Those things, if you surround yourself with positive people, you're going to find that your mind and your voice are going to say that more often to yourself. And I think that is very important. You should help others, but you should also be taking care of yourself as often as you can. You should just say the word joy often. Think about its meaning. Imagine the feelings of joy. You can't say joy and not be happy. You just can't. I mean, it really, so say it often. Imagine it in your mind. Do those things that are going to bring you true joy and happiness. Wes Stanford, former president of Compassion International, says, joy is a decision, a really brave one, about how you are going to respond to life. I just, again, I when I find these quotes, I just feel like I have to share them because they touch my life and my heart, and I want to share them with everybody because I believe them. And I think, when I think about happiness, I think it tends to be more triggered based on other people or things that we get or thoughts or whatever. And joy, when I think about joy, it really is an internal piece, or it's a piece of who we are and why we are the way we are and how we are. It's not just the things that we're getting, it's more our internal soul and feelings, instead of just being happy. And
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that oftentimes we think that, like I was saying, you know, they have to be these big grand things, right? And they really don't. We can find joy in the simple things in life.
yeah,
And I think really one of those simple things is to love more. That's a really a good way to get us to find more joy, is to spread more love throughout the world. And so and Shane had mentioned it, right? Serving, finding a way to serve or be, you know, do whatever that is that makes you happy in that particular way. Um, Love really is a way to help bring joy into your life. I know that when I've loved more, I get more, right?
yeah,
I receive more love, and it's an amazing thing. Humans are an amazing creature, right? I mean, we are the most, um, I don't know what the word is. I can't think of it right at the moment in time, but you know, we are very sophisticated in that, you know, there's no other uh, mammal or any other species of any kind of being on this planet that's as complex or as great as we are, right? That's why we're kind of at the top of the food chain, so they say. Um, so one of the other things that I wanted to talk to, and I think Shane kind of mentioned it a little bit, but it's find bliss, because I mentioned what bliss is, in a bucket list. And that's kind of that bigger goal. But have you ever crossed anything off your bucket list? Well, how do you feel after that? What's the feeling that you get? For me, it's pure joy. I wanted to go on a cruise. I did that. And it was like amazing. It was so
Yeah.
awesome. Um, and then just kind of lastly, and I got two couple quotes here, but plan your joy. Plan it out. If that's what kind of a person you are, start planning for a happy, joyous future. Start planning for things that, are going to make you happy and bring you joy. Whether that's, you know, you like to exercise so many times a week or you like to go on vacations. I'm anxious to plan out my next vacation. I'm just curious what's going to happen right now in the world, right? I don't
Yeah.
really know how traveling is going to work. And so I want to plan my next vacation. So we're coming up with ideas of places we want to go, but nothing's been concreted yet. And so plan for that future. Joseph Campbell, and I can't remember what, if he was the author or what, but he said this: find a place inside where there's joy, and the joy will burn out the pain. I just thought that was so
That's great.
cool. So find that place inside of you that's the pain, and burn it out. Have joy burn that out. I loved that quote because I thought it was great. Um, and lastly, Chuck Palahniuk. I'm not sure how to say that. I'm just being honest. But he said this: find joy in everything you choose to do, every job, every relationship, home. It's your responsibility to love it or change it. And that's it. That's so simply put. We have that, the responsibility is ours. And so we have that ability to choose whether we love it or we don't like it. And so we're going to change it.
Yeah, that's exactly the way. It's each of our decisions to find out how much joy we want in life or how much joy we don't want in life. It really comes down to us. And Jason and I have shared with you some great things, but it ultimately comes down to each one of you and the action you want to take to allow more joy into your life.